Life is not just about going through the motions. It's a deep, often mysterious journey of discovering who we truly are. For many people, this path is full of ups and downs, hardships, and moments of change that seem overwhelming. But for a certain kind of person, those who are often called the chosen ones, this journey takes on a special meaning. These are the people who don't just live for success or approval, but who feel a pull towards something greater. They carry a quiet wisdom inside them, even if they don't fully understand it until later in life. Their path is not ordinary, and their awakening doesn't follow the timeline society expects. For these souls, life begins not in the early years, but around the age of 40. It's at 40 that something begins to shift. The confusion that once clouded your mind starts to lift. The struggles of the past no longer seem pointless, they begin to make sense. You realize that the pain you went through, the mistakes you made, and the lessons you had to learn were all preparing you for this moment. It's not that the pain disappears, but now you see its purpose. Everything you've experienced has shaped you into someone stronger, wiser, and more aware of your deeper calling. At 40, your soul starts to align with its true purpose, and you begin to understand the meaning behind all that you've been through. If you've ever felt out of place or like you didn't quite belong, you're not alone. Maybe you've spent years wondering why you felt different, why others didn't seem to see you clearly, or why your life didn't follow the same path as everyone else's. That feeling of being misunderstood or invisible wasn't a mistake. It was part of the journey. You weren't meant to fit in because you were meant to stand out. Everything up until now was training, spiritual, emotional, and mental training for the life you are meant to live from this point forward. This message coming to you right now is not a coincidence. It's not random. If you're reading this, hearing it, or feeling it in your heart, then you were meant to. The universe works in divine timing, and messages like these come when your spirit is ready to receive them. This might be your moment of awakening, the gentle push you need to step into your real purpose. The signs have been there all along, but now your eyes and heart are open enough to see them clearly. And if this resonates with you, if you feel like these words are speaking directly to your soul, that's your confirmation. You're not imagining it. You're being called to rise. As we grow older, especially as we reach our late 30s and early 40s, we begin to let go of many things we once thought were important. In our younger years, we often hold on tightly to people, habits, roles, and beliefs that feel safe or familiar, even if they cause us stress or pain. We're afraid to let go because we don't want to feel lost. But over time, we start to realize that letting go isn't about giving up, it's about making space. When we release what no longer serves us, we allow something better to enter our lives. By 40, you may have started to notice this shift happening inside you. You no longer feel the need to cling to relationships that drain you or beliefs that hold you back. You begin to understand that peace comes when you stop forcing things and start allowing what's meant to be. This kind of wisdom doesn't happen overnight. It takes years of challenges and soul searching to get here. But now you're learning that letting go is not a loss. It's a gift. It's an act of self-love. And when you let go, you begin to attract people, opportunities, and experiences that feel aligned with who you truly are. Another powerful change that happens around this time is how you view time itself. For much of your life, you might have felt rushed. There's pressure everywhere to succeed by a certain age, to reach certain goals, to prove yourself. This invisible timeline makes people feel like they're falling behind if they haven't made it by their 30s. But once you hit 40, your whole perspective begins to shift. You stop comparing your life to others. You no longer feel trapped by deadlines that don't serve you. You begin to understand that life unfolds exactly when it's meant to. Instead of rushing through life, you start to move with intention. You no longer chase things just to feel accomplished. You trust that what is meant for you will come, and that it will come at the perfect time. This realization brings a sense of peace you may not have felt before. You stop worrying so much about the future or regretting the past, and you start living in the present. You accept that where you are now is exactly where you need to be. This calm, centered mindset changes everything. It allows you to enjoy the journey rather than stress over the destination. One of the most beautiful things that often becomes clear at 40 is your true purpose. Before this point, you may have spent years searching, trying different careers, following different paths, chasing different dreams. And while you may have had some success, it never quite felt complete. Something always seemed missing, like a part of your soul was still waiting to be awakened. That's because your deeper purpose often doesn't reveal itself in your younger years. It reveals itself once you've lived enough life to understand it. Now, the puzzle pieces start to come together. You begin to see how every job you took, every relationship you had, every challenge you faced was building something bigger. Even the painful parts had meaning. Your soul has been preparing for this moment, and now it's ready to leave. You no longer feel lost. Instead, you feel pulled, drawn towards something greater. You start to walk with confidence, not because everything is perfect, but because you finally feel in tune with your mission. You know why you're here. Alongside this clarity of purpose comes another important change. You stop needing validation from others. In your younger years, it's normal to want approval. You want to be liked, accepted, understood. You try to please others or fit into boxes that don't feel right. But after a while, this gets exhausting. By the time you reach 40, you've had enough of pretending. You stop looking for others to tell you that you're enough. You start telling yourself, and that changes everything. You begin to live more honestly, more freely, and more courageously. You no longer shape your identity based on what other people expect of you. You live from the inside out. You choose relationships that support your growth. You speak your truth even if it shakes things up. You protect your peace and set boundaries without guilt. You finally understand that the only person who needs to believe in you is you. So if you're approaching 40 or are already there, and you've been feeling this shift, this deeper sense of self, this hunger for meaning, this need to let go of old patterns, know that you're not alone. You're not late. You're not behind. You are exactly on time. This is your moment of awakening. The life you were always meant to live is just beginning. Everything before this was the prelude. The pain, the confusion, the years of wondering, it was all part of the preparation. Now, the fog is clearing and your soul is rising. You are no longer who you once were, and that is something to celebrate. If this message stirs something inside you, if your heart feels seen or your spirit feels lifted, then trust that feeling. You are being guided. You are being called. In this next chapter of your life, it's not about survival. It's about becoming. It's about fully stepping into your light, your truth, and your purpose. There comes a time in life when you stop asking for permission to be yourself. You no longer feel the need to explain your choices to others, to defend what you believe, or to prove that you're enough. You begin to stand in your truth with quiet confidence, knowing deep within that you are on your own unique journey. And when this happens, something beautiful shifts. You feel free, free from expectations, free from fear of judgment. You stop trying to fit in and start choosing what feels right for your soul. You trust yourself more. You become more grounded and honest with who you are. This kind of self-acceptance doesn't come overnight. It often takes years of struggle, growth, and inner searching. But once you arrive at this place, it's like you found your way home. You no longer carry the weight of needing approval. You live life more on your own terms, and that freedom brings peace. For many people, this shift becomes even more noticeable as they approach or reach the age of 40. Something begins to awaken within. You might notice more signs from the universe, Things that once felt like coincidences now seem meaningful. You start seeing patterns, feeling guided, and recognizing that certain people or situations are showing up for a reason. There's a growing sense that everything you experienced, both good and bad, was part of something bigger. It's as if life has been preparing you all along for a deeper understanding. The distractions of the outside world don't hold the same power over you anymore. You begin to see through the surface of things and feel more connected to the bigger picture. You sense that there's more to life than just going through the motions. Your spiritual awareness expands. You understand that every challenge was placed in your path not to break you, but to help you grow and rise. You're no longer overwhelmed by what once confused you. Instead, you're able to see the lessons, the purpose, and the meaning behind it all. Your inner voice, what some might call intuition, grows louder and clearer. In the past, you may have ignored it or doubted it, but now you listen. You trust what you feel deep down, even when it doesn't make logical sense. That whisper inside becomes your compass, guiding you toward what truly aligns with your purpose. You find yourself drawn to practices like meditation, prayer, or simply taking quiet time alone. These moments help you reconnect with your inner wisdom. Instead of looking for answers in the outside world, you begin to turn inward. And what you find there is calm, clarity, and a sense of direction that you may have never known before. You stop rushing. You stop chasing. You begin to move more intentionally, letting life unfold naturally without forcing it. One of the biggest changes that happens on this journey is how you relate to energy. You become more aware of how people, places, and experiences affect you. You can feel when something uplifts you and when something drains you. By the time you reach this level of awareness, you no longer waste time in situations that pull you down. You understand how valuable your peace is, and you protect it like treasure. You set stronger boundaries. You stop entertaining relationships that leave you feeling empty or misunderstood. You don't give your energy away so easily anymore. Instead, you pour it into what truly matters: your growth, your purpose, your joy. You also begin to recognize when something is aligned with your soul and when it's not. Things that once tempted or distracted you lose their grip. Toxic relationships, self-doubt, and old fears that once held you back no longer have the same power. That's because you've built strength from within. You've developed a new kind of wisdom. You've become more discerning, more tuned in to what resonates with who you're becoming. As this happens, your life begins to change. You attract people who support you, opportunities that feel right, and experiences that help you grow. Your energy becomes a magnet. You start manifesting things more easily, not because you're chasing them, but because you're aligned with them. You understand how to use the power of intention, gratitude, and focus. You realize that you are not just watching life happen, you're helping create it. Another important shift is how you view being alone. In earlier years, solitude might have felt uncomfortable or even painful. But now, you see it differently. You no longer run from silence. Instead, you welcome it. You begin to understand that being alone doesn't mean being lonely. It becomes a sacred space where you can hear your own thoughts, feel your emotions, and connect more deeply with your spirit. You use this time for healing, for insight, and for simply being. In solitude, you get to know yourself on a deeper level. You become your own best friend. And the fear of being alone, which may have haunted you in the past, fades away. You realize that you're never truly alone. Your higher self, the universe, spirit, or whatever you believe in, is always with you, guiding and supporting you. The silence that once felt heavy now feels peaceful. You find comfort in your own company and strength in stillness. Eventually, perhaps the most profound change of all takes place. You begin to live for yourself. For many years, you may have shaped your life around what others expected of you. You may have tried to be the good son or daughter, the ideal partner, the perfect parent, the model employee. You may have pushed your own dreams to the side in order to meet the needs of those around you. But somewhere along the way, you realize that living like this is not truly living. Life is too short, too precious, to spend trying to meet someone else's definition of success or happiness. At 40, or maybe even before or after, you start to ask yourself what you truly want. You stop living by other people's rules and start following your own. You embrace your passions, your desires, and the parts of you that may have been hidden for years. You stop apologizing for being different. You stop shrinking to make others comfortable. You begin to feel free to take up space, to speak your truth, and to walk a path that feels right to you. You no longer measure your worth by what you achieve or what others think of you. Instead, you define success in your own way, by how happy you feel, how aligned you are, and how much love and truth you live with. This is not the end of something, it's the beginning. It's the start of the most authentic, powerful, and meaningful chapter of your life. Everything you've been through, the heartbreaks, the lessons, the detours, they weren't for nothing. They were all preparing you for this, to help you rise, to help you see who you truly are, to remind you that your journey was never about becoming someone else. It was about coming back to you. Your soul chose this path, and the universe has been guiding you all along. So if you're approaching 40, or if you've already reached it, know this: you are not late. You are not behind. You are exactly where you're meant to be. You're wiser now, stronger, more aware. You've let go of illusions and stepped into truth. You've stopped looking outside for love, for validation, for direction, and instead, you've turned inward and found your own light. This is your time to rise, to create, to love yourself fully, to live with intention, to speak with purpose, to move with grace, to stop waiting and start being. You are no longer who you were, and you haven't yet become all that you're meant to be, but you're on your way. And the best part? The best is still to come.